See, I call that a fabulous, fantastic opportunity, right? That's free airtime. People, that's valuable airtime. All right, so once again, you know your subject really well. I usually do that with a question, and I'm telling you, again, that same host where we found out that we're on for an hour, or as my sister later said, that's an hour I'll never get back in my life. Because she was so bad. She didn't know how to ask questions. She didn't know how to prep the guests. And in that case, you know what? I turned to the questioning method. So I'm wondering, would it be okay if I shared a takeaway point? Would it be okay if I shared 3 quick tips of something you can pack that no matter where you travel, that will address your entire body? Sure! Okay. Would it be okay if my sister and I just took over your interview because you really suck and we're actually pretty good? I would turn to the, maybe not that question. I would turn to the questions, right? Do you think your listeners would find it valuable to hear about the special that I'm offering? I mean, me personally, I pose it a question. The worst you'll get is, oh no, don't go that direction. But that will help fill dead air. Does that help? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. David.
Yeah, I was wondering if you have some people that no matter, you ask them a question, they don't really answer the question. You know, they just talk about whatever they want to talk about. And if that is a mistake too, or is it not? You know, is it okay if that happens?
Well, again, I think it depends on the kind of show.
Politicians are really good at that.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the kind of show. Being a shy person like myself, I would say things like, you know, I love you, baby. You're highly respected, but you did not answer my question. No, you aren't trying to get around it. That does not happen on Fun and Fit. Do not make me stick my sister on you. You either answer directly, or we'll move to the next question. So that's my style. I would just hit it directly. But each show.
Thanks for the warning.
Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of show. Is I would say, you know, thank you for answering. While you didn't answer the question I asked, that leads me to another question. Or I'd say, you know, great. Now, the question I'm still wondering about is, can you give me an answer in 30 words or fewer? Truncated. And so, again, like Robin's way nicer. I'm not sure. I would check with her afterwards to find out.
I'm way more boring.
So it depends on the type of show. I have never had a guest yet who refused to answer what I'm asking, but that is the badger in me, because I would just, so I will just keep digging.
No politicians.
Right. Eve.
No, just 5 more minutes.
Okay, Eve.
Yeah, when you're saying hook and angle, does that always mean that the hook and angle is equaling an offer, or is it a hook and is it just a hook and angle statement that drags them in? I mean, is it inviting them in because it's a hook and angle statement, or if there's an offer connected to that?
By hook and angle, while it may include an offer, it's separate from that. Okay, it's more inclusive. It's saying what kind of approach are you taking, or what theme, or
Can I give an example?
yeah. For example, the angle we took with Heather, whose story really is about, gee, I got arrested as a suspected terrorist for some bullets I didn't know were in my backpack, and now I'm stuck in India, and I happen to also be a fitness professional and venture retreat leader, and so that's her angle. The hook we took is, all right, we're a fitness show, staying in shape while in jail, right? So it may have to do with, you know, when you have concrete and humidity. And listen to the show, she's so interesting. She really has a fascinating story. And the story is this big, and our interview is this big, so you want to catch her for sure and ask her more. So hook and angle really mean the approach, or the way you're going to catch the listener's ear. It's not necessarily anchored to an offer or a special. Nancy.
Yeah, Rick, you asked the question originally, but you forgot it. But
I knew it was a different question, yeah.
How do you know the listening audience? What numbers
Right,
are you
stats.
getting? That would be so important.
Okay, that is critical. Thank you. I was thinking, those are great questions, Rick, but it wasn't your original question. Thank you. Online radio should be able to provide those stats, and that's one of the benefits, whereas terrestrial or airwave radio, they're guessing. Online radio should be able to give you those stats, whether it's Blog Talk. I mean, there are hundreds of different online shows. They have the stats. They can see every clip. They can track listener time. They can say X number of percentage played all the way through. X number went to 2 minutes. Gee, if you go longer than 20 minutes, you drop off. They should be. Women's Radio right now is upgrading their program. They've been doing so for 6 months, so their stats are limited. But that is a question that when you're deciding where, if you decide to host, where to place your show, you would want to ask them, how do they track stats and how do I get those stats? And as a guest, I go back through, I collect our stats. I'll go to our high-ranking guests and I'll send them emails. Thank you so much. You have been one of our highest-ranking guests. Here are the numbers. And the site itself should be able to provide that. Yeah. I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Jenny.
Jenny.
Okay, you just said there's hundreds of online radio shows. What if I didn't have all this fabulous connection with you and with you and wanted to research different shows? How would I go about finding something that would work for my type of content?
Jenny, well, thank you for that great question. It allows me to point to the resource sheet. So I gave you suggestions that talk about LinkedIn and keywords. You can either just go to a search and write online radio shows, online radio sites, online radio webs, or put in your keywords. Go to LinkedIn. I found that it's very helpful. Go to LinkedIn, look under groups, and the kind of groups that is talk show hosts, radio. There are groups that are talk show hosts, that are speakers, panelists, etc. People like my sister and I belong to those groups. And sometimes people will come on and say, well, I'm not a talk show host, but here's my expertise as a guest, and here's a proposed show. Is somebody interested? And oftentimes people will pick up, because most shows, they're regular. They're looking for guests. They really are looking. In our case, we're very fortunate. We have a plethora of guests. So when Patty tells you, oh, call Kymberly, she needs guests, I would love to hear from all of you if you have an appropriate idea, and if you follow my advice. and having said that, we are very fortunate just within our industry to have just really a great lineup and plethora of guests we can pull from. And I would say LinkedIn groups, Google searches with keywords, or even just putting in online radio sites. And then I also put a resource down there, a link to a woman, Frances Silverman, who's put together resource books. And she just lists show after show after show, and she organizes her little mini books, her digital books, by topic, by content. Health and fitness shows, and there are a couple hundred there. Business shows, a couple hundred there. So that link is on the paper you have. I would encourage you to go to her site and check that out too, because she really has put together the most current resource, just list of shows.
Okay, thank you. And so once you get there and you decide there's a handful of shows I'm interested in, who's the best point of contact? Is it the producer of the show? And do you email or do you call directly?
Well, normally online radio can be everywhere from the producer is myself and my sister, and the editor is myself and my sister, and in fact, the floor sweeper looks a lot like us too. I would say that each show will have somewhere on it how to contact them.
Okay.
And just look around. They'll either say email or call.
Because there's a website for everyone, for every show.
Well, at some point, yes, because they're online.
Yeah.
It's an online show. Yes, you could go to a site like womensradio.com and just send a query, hey, here's what I propose. They will actually go out to their different hosts and say, we have this come in, we think it's a good match with your show, would you be interested?
Okay, so they do check the details.
Last question, because we're running over. Who's lucky?
Yes.
For this line?
That was number 6. What is your number one real deal responsibility? And I'll end on that. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you for giving me that opportunity. That's perfect. Your number one responsibility is a guest. And the action you will take that will get you asked back, assuming you followed the other suggestions, is promote the show. Once you have been on that show, or if you're airing live, promote the show. You want listeners. Guess what? So does your host. You have this in common. You both want loads of listeners. So the more you can bring your listeners to the show, and the show is bringing you the platform, this is happy. Your job didn't end when you gave your final takeaway point. Your job ends when you put it on Twitter, Facebook, you email it, you constant contact it, you tell all your pals, you get the word out, you show a spike in listenership on those stats that Nancy made sure to track, and you will be asked back. You bet. When I see that I've got a guest and she got double the numbers, she hustled her little and she got listeners to our radio show, she is coming back on our show. right? So, thank you very much, everybody, I appreciate it.